Uh, New background, new me. You see? Ooh, I just popped the chair back, and I am popping the wheels off this cherry sickle cell anemia. Yeah. Wow, I just realized I am really far out. If you can't see me, just know I see. I decided to switch it up a bit. Decided to show you what it's like to be trapped near a closet as you are next to a closet and a mirror. Is it a mirror closet? Could you imagine being in a closet? Well, I think if you can. Could you imagine being in a closet and then there's a mirror? Like the Justin Timberlake music video. Oh, it's like you're my mirror. Which is kind of weird. Like, why would you want someone to be your mirror? They're staring right back at me. I don't want someone to stare back at me. I don't want someone to be a reflection of me. Like, if I wanted someone to be a reflection of me, I would just, be with myself and see myself and be like, damn, you are one son of a gun there. Pew, pew. Oh, yeah. I do like a nice gun show, NRA doesn't have to be involved, but I will amend your right to witness whatever shots may fire. There's a scar on your face. Sip, sip. Jesus Christ. I brought back the sour green apple. And goddamn. Granny. Why would they call the green apples Granny Smith? Is it because, after you drink it, you feel like you can't even, suck your teeth? It's just all your gums that you're feeling. Because that shit is zinging. Tangy. You know what? What's the deal with sour? Why do we enjoy sour? Is it because it's like a waker-upper? Is it a pick-me-upper? Is there something about sourness that just jolts your body? It's like people that like really spicy shit. They actually say if a man cannot handle spicy food, he might have low testosterone, or his ability to reproduce is probably very slim. They're basically calling you a pussy. Imagine just going about your day and you're like, yeah, do you want mild or hot wings? And you're just like, I'll do mild. And your bro's like, huh, look at this low T dick wad over here. Won't even level up the Scoville ratings. He's definitely not Man versus Food over here. I do watch the Travel Channel. I guess James Harden does have his own show. Oh, Jesus. All right. I have no clue where I'm going with this opening, so I'm going to start now. Welcome to episode 242 of the Off the Beat podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, but most important, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to suck some titties for the archives. Recording this on December 17th at 1:24 a.m. Eastern. Scenery change, right? You're probably thinking, the boy moved. The boy, must be having some remodeling done in his house. He has to do it in a secluded area that would not be ideal. And it's none of those. It's because the boy can't afford a 2-bedroom at this point in his time, or can, but it's not financially responsible. even if it would be sanely responsible. So I am doing it in my half bathroom next to the bathroom that I have a old ass chair holding my laptop. And the background's not even. I just realized my body is not congruent to this closet door sliding thing behind me, and it's really starting to fucking bother me. But for the next 50 plus minutes, I'm just gonna have to deal with the fact that, like my life, it is incongruent. So, speaking of incongruent, body like a back road. Oh yeah, by the way, today's drink sponsor, unsponsored sponsor, maybe illegal or legal doing it. Ghost Sour Green Apple Warhead. Jesus, just talking about it gives you like that. You notice how like everyone has a drink, right? That when it makes you think of it, it makes you think about when you vomited it, the feeling, the taste, the emotion attached to it. And people, I think it's actually a literal thing. Like, someone's like, you just hear the word, oh, Jack Daniels, and like your stomach, like the memory senses, you know? Just talking about this makes my fucking mouth tingle. Pause. But there's just certain things that just make you be like, hey, whoa, I don't want to hear it, you know? It could be a trauma thing, you know? Is having that drink attached to you, is it trauma? It's like, because you had like 80 great experiences with a drink. But one just, you know, capsized the boat a little bit. And all of a sudden, you focus on the one thing. The one time it didn't make you feel all that great. But the 80 other times, it made you feel amazing. And so, that's why we get into polygamy. No. But, you know, I know it's like, actually, wait, look at me naturally setting up some stuff. It's weird, because I've had a observation of things out here. And it feels like, and whether you want to get political or I'm pony. So if a pony is horny, do you say I'm pony? You're probably one of those weirdos that watches Paw Patrol animation type of deviancy. But yeah, if you know, you know. You don't want to find out that Marge was getting the barge from Flanders. It's always those oh so Christian ones. They'll just snatch your bitch from you. I'm kidding. You ain't no simp, son. But, you know, we tend to focus on what's wrong. You know, we focus on everything that's wrong around us. I hate when people say macro or micro. I feel like I'm talking about nutritional fact. Oh, what's your macros, bro? It's not worrying about what the fuck my macros is. That's what my macro is. Hey, what's your micro? Penis. Oh, only if he knew. I don't know why I said he. She, baby. She's my superstar. If I were to ever I think that's my goal. I want to have a podcast residency. Like, Usher has a residency. I think Drake even has a residency. He gets paid like $2 million a show or some shit, right? I mean, he said it in a song. Like, you know, we know Drake doesn't lie in his music or over exaggerate how much he makes, you know. He would never do that. But I want to have like that residency. Dolly Parton like has a residency. You know, she's got an all-time anywhere in Tennessee type of residency. I want to have that for like, how does that work? Like, if you're a podcaster, you just have like every night I show up and you guys just gonna listen to what the fuck I have to say. Like, at least like when you have a residency with music, you know what songs you're getting. Now the performance may vary based on the night, but you're getting a show. You go to the show 5 nights in a row, and you're going to get pretty much the same show with maybe some variants. Like, you can't just repeat the same topics word by word of a show. So how does that work? Like, it could be too much variance of whether someone enjoys you that day or not. But I guess, I don't know, that could be the same with music. There's going to be all these energies and these high-level inputs of your connection with what you're feeling. Swanging. But I think that's my goal. I just want to have a residency. I just work like 3 or 4 hours a night, prepping, post, fans, do an hour plus. You know, grab y'all's money, and then go to the casino next door and gamble it all on. I would probably do some stupid shit like that. And I'm not bad with money. But if I was like just had a residency, like maybe that's why they give these exorbitant amounts at Vegas and stuff. Because like, you guys are going to give the money back. We're going to make our money back. They always say the house wins. Literally. Think about it. You mortgage a house. You're going to go into debt before you pay off the house. Shit's going to fall apart before you pay off that shit. The house wins. So, that's why you become the house. That's why I enjoyed the show House. Because, you know, say what you want about House. He was a bitter man with a bad leg, quick-witted. Always felt like he was the smartest in the room, and yet he seemed to solve all the cases before everyone else did. And got to the bottom of it, right? But sometimes you are so close to something that you have the same problems as the people you're treating. That's like House. He's dealing with people with drug issues, addictions, people trying to hide stuff, because he was someone who was hiding stuff to numb his pain. And he was addicted to pills at certain points, addicted to certain substances, right? I think sometimes the closer you are to it, thinking you're treating people, sometimes you can get caught up in being worse off than the people you're treating, because you kind of have this, oh, I know how to deal with it. I know the side effects. I know the symptoms. I know how to make it spark. But you're more susceptible. It's like if you're a health, you know, you're a health nutritionist, right? You think you know the ins and outs of every gram of fat, good fats, and all that shit. And sometimes you can overthink it to the point to think like, you know what? My body, it wouldn't do it to me. I've mastered my body. I've put years and years of cleanliness. I have a great work ethic and all that shit. So you feel like over time you can get away with a little bit more. And then you find out after a couple years of a little bit of this every other night, a little bit of that, you find out you are just like the rest of us. Fuckers. You ain't shit. They say you have one body the rest of your life. So treat it like a temple. But yet, these Egyptian spears and these Egyptian temples, these Egyptian artifacts. It defies science based off the technology they quote unquote had, and even today's world. It defies logic, physics, science, Bob the Builder, construction 101, how the shit was made. At least that's what they tell you. So, if it defies logic, it doesn't make sense how it was made. Then how are we going to treat our body in ways where we can't even make sense of how we grow with our bodies the way we do? Like, we can't even, like, if our body is a Egyptian physics and how they made these things, but we, to this day, we can't put together, like, what are they, archaeologists, experts in these fields, don't understand. Like, they've had theories, but they can't confirm it. So how do we do it for our bodies, right? How do we defy physics? Because our body, everyone's body has a physics understanding. Even the most elite genetics, the most elite people, whether that's mentally, physically, or whatever special skills we have, there has to be physics that's involved here. So I guess I take it too literal that our bodies are not temples. Like, it's a template. Like, here's a layout of how you can maximize this project. You do this, that, and the other. You know, you have this plan for this plan for this. And over time, you develop a consistent plan, and everything will round together, right? It's about creating a culture. Like the Migos. Rest in peace. Take off. Because I'm about to take off. Bad timing of that. Any jizzaboo. But yeah, so Offset what I just said. Offset's in some hot water. Even though Cardi B's bragging about how she's single. And now she's upset. Cardi B, this is how you know I'm all. This is how, and Cardi B's upset. She's offset by Offset's behavior. There we go. Of being seen or being rumored to be with a quote unquote thick model, right? You know, I don't know. It seems like Cardi B is kind of falling off a little bit. And I don't really get too into, they fell off. You know, she became a mother. Maybe priorities have changed. You know, she features, but she hasn't dropped an album in quite some time. I think since that Invasion of Privacy album. And allegedly, she doesn't really write most of her raps. But it's weird because in today's world, right, like, rapping is the only genre where it really matters if you actually write your bars, because there's supposed to be so much attachment. It's supposed to be so much visceral and, like, something about not writing your raps compared to if you just make music that sounds good and it's melodic. No one cares if Beyonce didn't write most of her hits. Neo wrote a good portion of her hits. Neo wrote a lot of people's hits. No one cares. No one cares that a lot of Justin Timberlake's music, he didn't write, like, a good portion of it. I mean, he part of the process, but he wasn't the sole writer, you know? But rap's a different thing, because, rap's one of those things like, everyone can rhyme words. You don't have to have a good voice. It's about your energy, your skills, and all this stuff. So if you're not writing your lyrics, what the fuck did you contribute to it? It wasn't you. Like, that's the thing about hip hop and rap compared to all other genres of music. The attachment is your personality. Other music, we can know nothing about those people's personality or their personal life. Where rap and hip hop, it seems like we have to kind of know, and because that's a part of it. Because it's supposed to be a truth serum, I guess. But Cardi B, I guess, just, she can, she's got fire. But it's definitely been attached to the Real Housewives type of love and hip hop thing where we've popularized drama to make people interesting, which kind of parlays into something. Came across a former NFL player. I remember when he played for the Falcons. He was a pretty decent player. Kroy Biermann and Kim Zolciak Biermann. I don't know how long the Biermann's going to be part of her name, but looking into the story, he was 23 when they met. She was 36. I don't judge age gaps. He was a younger man. She was a much older woman with experience, and I don't mean in that way. What I mean is she already had 2 kids by 2 different guys. Maybe a slight red flag. And she admitted having a sugar daddy while they were on their reality show, because they had a reality show while he was playing. Maybe kind of a reason why he got out of the league pretty quick, because he was a distraction. But, this is another conversation for another day. And apparently his family tried to warn him about her past and her approach. Some things don't seem right about her. Seems like she's kind of with you for the money type of thing. And he's just like... And it's weird, like, when you're in those situations. Like, I can honestly say I've never been in this situation where, like... I was, like, where a girl I was with... And it created this divisiveness with my family. Like, I feel like that would be an extreme red flag if your whole family's like, hey, man... Something's not right about this woman. And then you basically have to choose either between her or your family. Because if a woman was that right for you, or there would not be any of these crazy red flags. That doesn't mean people don't get along. But your family knows you. Your parents know you. Your brothers, your sisters, your cats. They all know you. If they say a bitch smells, something smells, all right? And this goes for guys and vice versa. You know what I mean. Something's not right. It's not about, just whatever your family has to approve. But if everyone is like, hey, this bitch is going to rob you, you might want to raise an eyebrow and be like, is she going to rob me? Is she going to fuck up my life? And then, fast forward. They get called, cops get called to their house every month now. It's weird, like, it's kind of normal, like, it's weird the cops, like, they get calls from the kids and stuff, like, they're fighting, arguing, yelling. And the man's basically just kind of, like, lost and says, she gambled all my fucking money. Apparently, she's gambled like close to $2.5 million of his dollars. It's like, what the fuck does she gamble on? Like, how do you gamble $2.5 million and not win? At least like, if you have the type of money begin, like, you could have stopped at like a couple $100,000 when that shit wasn't working. Don't just put $100,000. Start like Prudy. Put $10. See if you know what the fuck you're doing. I could tell you from experience. Fuck. But that's the part that made me mad. But apparently she's fucked up his life, drained him. Now she kind of has left him for someone who's more rich, draining them in many ways. And he had an epiphany that his life is fucked up and everything he worked for was for nothing. And it could have been prevented if he just listened or took some hints like, hey, that's the thing. Like, why do people just ignore, each other? Sorry, the ghost of Christmas past just peeked at me. But, if you ever have to choose between family or your lady, you always choose your mother. Unless she has proven that she is just like your mother. Because they always say you're going to end up being with a woman that's like your mother. As you can tell from my smile, I'm trying to save myself here. She's not in the room at all. Not at all. But you always end up being, it's weird. Because it's like you're not attracted to your mother like that, but you have a bond with your mother. So it's like you try to find, well, I should say if you have a good mother, you don't want to find someone that's like your meth addicted mother. You want to find pretty much the opposite, But maybe she got hooked to meth like 8 years after, you were able to fully function your brain. She did her best. She was a great mother, but then she just lost her shit and said, fuck it. And so, but there's still qualities. There's good qualities, even if people have derailed their life. There's still good qualities. They just kind of got lost in the sauce. And let's just say they're threading through with a needle, just in a different way. Yeah, but I'm so together. But the bond you have with your mother and your woman, you son of a bitch. See, you know what? This is what happens. You know what? You get what you pay for. Oh, you have renter's insurance. Does it mean anything? Oh, but when I take a big shit, you won't make enough noise to flush, but you'll make it when it's highly unideal. But it's kind of weird. Like you want to be with someone that you have a bond with, and they say you're with someone that's like your mother, and it's kind of weird because you do things with, let's just say, your wife or your girl of a long time that you did do with your mother. Like, like you suck their titties. So it's like different reasons. One's for health and one's for wealth. It's all the same. Like it's like, have you ever seen one of those like line graphs? Like, remember in school, it'd be like, match the statement with the answer. Is it true? And then you put it in a Venn diagram. Put this in a Venn diagram. It's always in the middle. Kind of like the breastbone. It's always in the middle. Say it with your chest. Oh, she did. But it is. Like, that's what we mean when, like, you try to find someone like your mother. Someone who cares for you, nurtures you, loves you. Loves you for who you are. Doesn't ask questions when you're down in your life. They just say, let's go get a bocce. Yum, yum. But yeah, anyway, enough of that gay shit. Well, is it get? Never mind. I was putting some shit together in my head. Oh, Jesus. But yeah. Drop it like it's hot. They will get an attitude, though. Meep, meep. So, if a cat licks your toenail, what the fuck is that? If a cat licks your toenail, are they just purring under the surface? Because it's so much fun with Gus. Because that's what I'm going to name my next male cat. See, I want to get a male cat. And I want a cat. See, I want a cat to be like a dog. Like, I always want a dog that just randomly humps you a leg. I always want to know that. I want to be able to pour, like, you know, some Budweiser. And then they lick that shit up. And they hump you because they're half drunk. And your leg reminds them of, you know, who they wanted to impregnate before they got neutered. But that's what I want. I want dogs. I want a little Air Bud team. You know, like always before the Super Bowl, they have the Puppy Bowl. Well, let's just say. So, behind every bad salamander, there's a salmon ready to get manhandled by an Indonesian man because the tsunami fucked up his livelihood. And that's why all of our clothing is made in Malaysia. And then Chick-fil-A wants to indoctrinate Polynesian sauce and make it extra sweet. Kind of like those Thailand sweet boys. You know, there was actually I heard of a story about in the it was like in the late early 1900s, there was an instance of a man killed himself. He committed suicide because his girlfriend, as I say that right now, all right, no, not his girl, his wife was murdered, right? But it's beyond that. But because it found out that his wife was not a woman. So, the theory is, did he kill himself because he was sad of his wife dying? Or because at that time, the shame of the town knowing, right? Because there's this thing like, it's one thing when you get exposed on social media. It's all just like, pew, pew, all over the place. But when it's your town, you have to live in it. You can't isolate yourself. You can't go into Ace Hardware and just be like, hey, Dave. And they're like, hey, wasn't that your wife's name at first? Dave's Double Patty. Because she sure loved them windy, raw meats. Oh, Jesus, Clint. But, so, I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I found that out. But the theory is, did he already know? Or was he really surprised? Because I don't know how you hide that, you know? Because, look, science was not that advancing. So, like, she just put, like, some duct tape over it. And she's like, oh, no, I just have this birth scar. Like, something happened. I had this big incision. I have to keep it covered at all times. And he's like, that's a lot of duct tape you got there. But, I don't know. You know. Maybe they weren't very educated on the cycle. You know, the only cycle he knew was a laundromat. But then back then, they didn't have washers and dryers. You know, they had to let it air out. I guess they both had some things to air out. Swinging. But yeah, so I like me some eyeshadow because I get to, hug their eye contact. Which is, have you ever got mascara on your nose? It lets you know you missed. Yes, that missed. It's like pissing on an owl's face, You're like, who's there? So if the Grinch and an owl were the mate, would they be like, what the fuck is Grinch? Is he like a goblin? Is he like, he's like a hairy peanut. Like, he walks like a peanut. He's shaped like, he's like the color of a lima bean. Is he like a beast? I honestly don't know what the fuck is the Grinch. Like, what animal is he? But okay, Lucy Lou, Wendy Woo, Lucy Lou, Wendy Woo. They look completely different, but if you just said the names, you would think they look similar. Oh Jesus. But yeah. Ooh. I'm just one big Rice Krispie treat. Because when I snap, they crackle. And the pussy pops. Sickle cell anemia. I do like the orange flavor. Not because it's my favorite color, but because with oranges, you can peel them, then you can appeal to them. You can squeeze them, and then buy them a juicer. And then with the juicer, you yam their placenta in there. And the next thing you know, you got some natural vitamin B and G. Do you know vitamin G is a real thing? Stands for glycinura. What does glycinura do? It raises your glucose. You know what happens when you raise your glucose? You smack that ass for no reason because it raises your sex drive crazy. That's what I heard from a source of mine. And I haven't seen him since. But you know what? Could be just coincidence. I'm a very coincidental person. And it's incidental. Ironically, that's coincidental. Because it's coincidental. But if you intentionally are incidental, does that actually mean you were intentional? So are you intentionally incidental, consequential, and confidential? Now that's something to peel back. It's like those peel here. Restroom toilet paper is terrible for your itchy asshole. Like, all the fake, I don't know, like, what commercialized businesses buy. They buy the cheapest shit. And look, I'm not a toilet paper, critic. I will say, though, every time I use a specific toilet paper at a certain place that I happen to be trapped at for extended period of times, I know what's coming. It hurts. Like, it's like a scab in your seams. You think you wore, dirty underwear, but reality, it was just all the powder that you just wiped up there. Like, have you ever, pulled toilet paper and then you see like some air, dust stuff. Think about it. You have a dusty asshole. The only another one that bites the dust is the maggots that are growing inside of it. You know, think about all the times you squeal, fart. You know, it's like two rubber paddings running together. Skin is not, well, think about it, like skin, if you rub your wrist together, you know, it starts burning. Indian rub, you start, you know, your arms, you get burned. Like, that is the thing about having fat ass cheeks, is all they do is just rub and rub together. I mean, your cheeks aren't that separated. They shouldn't be. All right. Am I correct? Like, I'm not like, but whose cheeks are closer together? Like a baby's or grown adults? Well, I guess it's all depending on your natural layout you got going down there, you know. Some people are blessed with a nice cheek proportion. There's enough space of lineage, and it's like needs to open up when it does, closes when it doesn't. It's like people that just don't know when to shut their fucking mouth. That's what the cheek is. It's like, you know, you don't have to act like you have an anal gaping going on down there all the time. You can just close it. Because sometimes the issue is when you have a loose hole, you're a loose cannon. And it's like sometimes, you know, you think you let one rip, right? And then you find out like, uh-oh, you have to go to the bathroom, double check yourself. Not talking about personal experience at all. It's just, you know, sometimes you get a little too comfortable. Like, it's like it's like momentum farting. Like, you fart once and it feels like kind of relaxing, and you got more in you, and then it's just all like, and it's like, and no, you're not home alone when you're doing it. Open the blanket. Now that's some rocket power. It feels like Will Smith. He had if Will Smith could go back in time, he would go back to that Fresh Prince episode where him and Nia Long have that crazy connection at that student hub cafe area. Him and Carlton would always go to when he's at school, and he kind of worked there for a period of time but didn't. Him and Nia Long, like, they just had it, you know. And then, you know, J. Cole's like, I forgot the line to the song, but he basically just said, like, hey, why can't you bitches be more like Nia Long? She ages gracefully. She's beautiful, you know. You know, Friday and after next. But yeah, I bet Will could go back to that, you know, because now he's dealing with another type of problem with a woman with short hair. And yeah. This was a terrible idea today. I'm too tired. But I am just scratching the surface. Kind of like, mucus. Oh, Jesus. I don't know why they call it phlegm, though. Phlegm de la phlegm, homie. Wu-Tang. More like poo tongue. Because it does kind of massage the tongue. Talk about going green. Environmental friendly. It's always fun when people are like, as they're carrying their aluminum fucking cans, like, oh, this was recycled. It's like, yeah, but all the plastic that's still in those metals as you're drinking it and consuming it, and you clean it like once every month, you disgusting fuck. People that like don't clean their metal recycled 100% recycled cup, which by default it cannot be 100% recycled because you had to use something to compact the things together, which takes non-natural sources, which makes it 100% not recycled by default. And once you mix recycled with non-recycled stuff, it actually becomes more of a danger and a hazard, which means someone is fucking lying. But you know what? It's your insides. It's your disgusting water. I hate people that don't clean out their cups. People that don't clean out their cups, there's one thing that is true with all of them. They all have stanky ass breath. That's just my observation. Maybe they just don't brush their teeth. Maybe they're one of those weirdos that just like swig water in their throat and they're like, this is good enough. It's like those people that didn't brush their teeth sometimes and they would just put some mouthwash in their mouth and go to school. Like, oh, I feel the burn, all right. But did you know that you can actually use mouthwash to actually apply nail polish to your nails? Listerine the way. It's funny because that song with Ed Sheeran back in the day, it's the way you make me feel. I think it's a Castle on the Hill, which I still never understood that song. More like White Castle on the Hill. All right. Stop. But every time that song, me and my buddy, my old buddy, I legitimately thought, I wasn't even joking, I legitimately thought he said Listerine. But it's kind of ironic because he's British, and British people notoriously don't use much of any Listerine. As J. Cole would say, they have a crooked smile. Finally, a joke that didn't suck. But it's like those memes with Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran. And it would be a picture of someone running. Alright, fuck me. And then that one song when you say pastries, crumbling like pastries. It's which is, I don't know if you, maybe pastries and, you know, over there, maybe they crumble, but you buy it here, they are real dry and stale. They ain't crumbling, they're just breaking. But you know what they say about a nice pastry? You can always find some for free in the bakery section. The ones that kids try to sneak out and eat there, and then it crumbles on the rack and shit. So you can always find pastries crumbled on the rack when it's been sitting there for a couple days. I don't know why they call it cheese Danish, because it's not like, could you imagine if they actually just made the dish what it sounds like? If they just put American cheese on a Danish? Imagine how that would taste. If it's just a plain bread and they just put some real cheese on it. But you think it's the cheese Danish that we've been sold by this monarchy and this, this Machiavellian, ooh, what a word, this Machiavellian societal structure we have accepted because we are weak. We just accept that it's just a cheese Danish. We accept it's just sweet cinnamon roll with some added processed sugars. But you know what? Everyone's sweet now anyways. We've been put through the process of being real super sweet. And that's why I'm spitting this super hot fire. I like me a super sweet gal. But have you ever come across someone who's a little too super nice? It's very, like, I hate people that are too positive. Like, you ever get around someone in a work environment and they're just, no matter who it is, they're like, hey man, hey, and it's always a fist bump no matter what. It's like, how many times do I have to fist you today? Like, I've done nothing to deserve another complimentary fist bump. It's like, I legitimately have done my job poorly. Can you stop? And it's just annoying when it's just like, you know what, guys? It's another great day of breathing in oxygen. And it's like, I wish you were breathing a little less. Because, goddamn, like, I wish you were breathing just a little less so you would talk a little less and I can enjoy not hearing you a little more. I think I said that right. Yeah. O2. But I don't know, man. Like, these people that they mean well, they're always smiling, and then they're the type where you just walk by and you have your normal ass looking face and they're like, you okay? And you're just like, yeah. It's always like, I have one of those faces where people always assume I have a problem. It's like, no, I just don't have a problem like you, where I'm always smiling when there's no reason for you to be smiling. It's dusty in here. Stop smiling. But I just, like, I need people to smile less. Like, more smiles does not equal going the extra mile. It just kind of actually discourages people because they look at you and they're smiling and you're smiling and shit. You're like, oh, look at me with my great approach when I woke up today. It's all about your mindset. However you wake up out of bed and however you decide to attack the day is how the day will let you thrive. And you just look at them and you're like, if you weren't on payroll, I would legitimately stick my fingers down your throat, pull your tonsils out, and do something that you can't afford on your insurance. Because you forgot to add the dental plan, Sorry. I never got my tonsils taken out. But they will try to make you feel like if you don't get your tonsils taken out, like, your mouth will deform in a, like, slanted time traveler way that happens to time travelers apparently the more they travel. They say, like, if you don't get your tonsils taken out by a certain age, like, you're going to fuck up your whole life. And it's like, I don't know. I haven't got my tonsils taken out. I still breathe pretty shitty. But I talk, I live, I eat, I try to sleep, and I don't snore. All you tonsil ass fucking people snore. I'm built different. I'm a 1%er. I'm the 1%er of you tonsil ass motherfuckers, huh? How's that feel? You all got your tonsils taken out, and you still ugly and snore. Alright? I breathe fine. But yeah, I'm going to make sure my kids never go to the dentist. I said it. I don't need you people putting your fucking hands in my kid's mouth, telling me they need a floss here, floss there. Because all your flosses got a bunch of chemicals. They're just going to fuck their mouth up anyways. If they're going to fuck their mouth up, you know what? At least I'm going to be the reason why their mouth gets fucked up. You know, I'm going to feed them the greatest food. I'm going to make sure they use some good-ass toothpaste. All you need is toothpaste. You don't need nothing else. You know, a little mouthwash when you want to take the lady out. But other than that, just get a good toothbrush. Brush all bases, you know. You don't need all this extra, like, whitening strips. Like, you know. That'd be so funny if, like, someone went and got their extra tan. You know, went to one of those, which is weird. I don't know how why is there 24-hour tanning bed places where it's like a gym key membership? Should you imagine if you're like an associate that works at this 24-hour tan, you come in at 8 a.m., you walk in and someone legitimately stayed in the tanning bed too long and it looks like one of those alien pictures. Just standing there looking up like 8 people around like, oh, I guess us, the government, we have to admit the UFO exists. Well, really, maybe all aliens are just people that tan too long. They shrink. They got big-ass foreheads. I can relate. They got big eyes that just look up at you. Like Puss in Boots on Shrek. But maybe that's all aliens are. Just people that stayed out in the sun too long and didn't have the certain skin barriers to withstand the heat. If you know what I'm saying. Apparently, I can withstand the heat, but some other world lead orders, warlords try to avoid the sun. They are part of certain demographics that have great power in this world. All I'll say, it rhymes with you. Crank that social. They be cranking some stuff, all right, you know. The old Amish churning machine. Jesus. Will you crank it, Jebediah? Will you crank that soldier? No, that's not Mima's titty milk. That is grand. You know hers is in the big glass one. She still produces at a high rate. As you'll hug little baby from behind. Hey, they're the ones that did it, not me. They're the ones that are doing these sus things out here. Yeah. But you know what? Who am I? We all need a good hug. I prefer to see who I'm hugging or being hugged by. But you know, some people like the surprise. The element of surprise. That Justin Bieber Odell type of surprise. Oh Jesus, they're all coming after me now. We got the U's and the Santanic and the Sus. They're all coming after me. And that's why there's a closet behind me. Odell, watch out. Yes, I did just make an Odell's in the closet joke. As long as you get over 3.5 catches this week, I don't care. Jesus. But yeah. I think I'm going to stop there because I'm going down a winding road that is someone's about to freaking abandon me like Natalie Holloway in Aruba. Oh, it's the Somali pirates. It's like, I watched Captain Phillips. Them bitches weren't going on that boat. That would be cool to be hijacked by some pirates, though, you know. I mean, not like in the way, but it'd be cool, you know, that language barrier. There's a lot of confusion, like, I'm gonna kill you, and then you're like, and they're like, actually, we got a better idea. We'll put you underground into with the Somali pirate, with a gun to your head. Bring fear in your eyes, but you know the whole boat better than us. And, like, what was their plan? They're going to go on a boat in the middle of the ocean and find millions of dollars? Like, there's so many other places you could find millions of dollars, and you're like, this boat in the middle of nowhere. Alright. That's the only part I didn't get about that movie. But yeah, I'm going to stop, because I am tired of hearing myself. That was episode 242 of the Alpha B Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Most important, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to suck some titties, whether you're Amish or the U's. Don't forget to suck some titties. Because no matter how much power or money you have, it's the only thing that makes you feel young again. And $20 is still $20.